effectively because 70% of the standard American diet is processed food, and processed food is toxicity, okay? Not only processed foods, but when you think about the lead in the water and the things that are in the air, the polluted air, and we can go on, then you start to understand why there's so many toxins. They also did studies on the placenta that was left over after childbirth. And what they discovered was the babies also had about 200 toxins inside of them, okay? Which is really important because that means that as a baby, the baby is coming into the world already toxic. Because, of course, the mom and the way that society is set up and the things that we're eating, the things that are in the air, the things that are in the water, the things that are in our household products, the things that are in our cosmetic products, the things that are in our hygienic products, all of those things contribute to the toxicity in our bodies. And unfortunately, those things are then passed on to the baby, okay? And the reason why you don't want to be detoxing while you're pregnant or breastfeeding is because guess what? While you're detoxing as the mom, all of that toxicity is being pulled out of the tissues, from not only from the tissue level, but from the cellular level. And it's being pulled out and put into the blood initially to be taken out of the body, okay? But because there's a placenta there, that blood will go through the placenta, which could end up in the baby, okay? And so that's why when you're breastfeeding and pregnant, it's not a good idea to detox. You're gonna wait till after the pregnancy and after the breastfeeding to then start detoxing, or ideally detox before you get pregnant. That way, you're not passing on those toxicities to the baby. That's a really good question. It's Miss Lark. How's it going? Peace and blessings to you. 1 meal a day plus working out. How do I keep up my weight? How I work out is one way how I keep up my weight. So I always tell people, if you want to look athletic, then you have to work out athletic. Quite often what I see people is when they're working out, like they're not working out how they want to look. So most people want to look like an athlete, but they don't train like an athlete. So that's what I try to do, is train like an athlete. So that's the first thing. The other thing is I make sure I'm always including high protein plant-based foods in my diet. When I say high protein, I'm not talking about tofu or Beyond Burger or anything like that. I stay away from those things. I think I tend to eat things that are high in protein, like chickpeas, like hemp, like chia seeds. Those are things that are complete proteins. I get a full amino acid profile. So I'm always adding those things into my foods in my meals, but I'm also drinking a smoothie that has a lot of those things in the smoothie that have protein. And I drink those after my workout. So that's how I keep my weight up. So in terms of in terms of me, like my weight, I'm currently about 212 and I'm about 6'2". So, and I've been that weight for the last maybe 5 years. So unless I'm a walking miracle, you can actually eat only one day and you could be plant-based and still maintain your weight. So Tashanya, how's it going? Peace and blessings to you. Sarah Robertson says, I just want to say the detox teas get better over time. You will definitely get past the first bitter taste. Yes. And the reason why the taste gets better over time, after the first week or 5 days, is because it's starting to alkalize your body. Most people are very acidic. And once the teas alkalize your body will be more comfortable with things that are bitter. And if you think about it, going back like as a kid, like all of the remedies that my grandmother and great grandmother and my mom gave me as a kid, they all taste very bitter. We hated them, but it's the bitter things in nature that heal you because that bitterness is a sign of alkalinity. Okay. And the great thing about drinking the teas and that bitterness hitting your tongue, when it hits your tongue, it stimulates your vagus nerve to stimulate digestion. So your body goes ahead and starts to produce digestive enzymes. It starts to cleanse and detox you because it knows that it's getting that alkalinity in the body. So You know, don't look at the bitter taste for the first couple of days as a bad thing. It's a very good thing in terms of like stimulating digestion, stimulating detoxing, stimulating cleansing. That's a very good thing. So thank you for chiming in on that, Sarah. Kiana Thomas, mompreneur. I have no idea what we're talking about today. I just jumped on. That's just it. I just jumped on. What's the obvious sign to know when the CMOS tablets are working? It improves digestion, so you may see regular bowel movements. You know, you may have increase in energy. That's another sign. So it could be a host of things, but to be honest with you, you have to think of it in terms of like nutrition, right? Because like when you think about like eating healthy is eating foods that are nutritionally dense. Okay, so like think about it in terms of this. When you eat something like a fruit or a vegetable, it has a lot of nutrition. So a lot of minerals, vitamins, trace elements, amino acids, healthy fats, things of that nature. It has a lot of that. But fruits and vegetables are low in calories. Okay, that's how you grade a food. A food should be high in nutrition, low in calories. Okay, if it's the opposite, meaning it's high in calories but low in nutrition, you're not going to get the full effects. You're not going to feel great, right? So when you get nutrition in the terms of like taking the CMOS capsules, what you're going to experience is increase in energy. You have an increase in energy because you have a lot of minerals now. You're going to experience an improvement in digestion because CMOS helps with that. In terms of like when CMOS is in the gut, you can actually take CMOS, the raw form of CMOS, and make it into a gel. Well, guess what? When you consume CMOS pills, it forms that gel inside of your gut, okay? Which is very soothing to the lining of your gut. And that's how it improves digestion. So they're not always immediate. For a lot of people, they are. But those are a few of the signs that'll let you know that the multi-mineral capsules that you guys purchased from me, how they work in the body. But essentially what you're doing is you're getting what you're supposed to get in a multivitamin, but this isn't a multivitamin because we're using actual ingredients. How long should it take to finish one jar? I always tell people drink, 4 to 8 ounces every 15 to 30 minutes, okay? Just look at it in terms of that, like drinking. So 4 ounces is half of a glass. So this is a glass, okay? So half of this would be 4 ounces. So if I drink half of this, then, and within like 15 to 30 minutes, that will be me actually getting rid of half of the glass. That will be me getting rid of 4 ounces. And if I drink, a full glass, that will be 8 ounces in an hour. So you're gonna be drinking 32 ounces, right? And so let's say you did it 4 ounces every 15 minutes, all right? If you did 4 ounces every 15 minutes, that would mean that in the space of an hour, you could pretty much go through 16 ounces. So, but again, it always depends on your day as well. The Go Vegan says, when are you and chakabars going live again? Yeah, we got to link up and go live again. So we're going to be, we're going to coordinate that. It's just been a hectic time for me personally. So I haven't even been on here with you guys as much. So yeah, we'll definitely get that going, Nico. Can we water fast while doing the detox? Some people have done that. What I would highly suggest is if you've never did a water fast, I wouldn't suggest doing the detox and water fasting. Okay, and I also wouldn't suggest, if you're not plant-based, I wouldn't suggest it either, because in many cases, you have to understand a detox is cleansing your body out. So that takes a lot of energy. And if you're water fasting, the water is also going to be cleansing your body out, which is going to take a lot of energy. Now, eventually what you'll see is a increase in energy eventually, but if you're also water fasting and detoxing, that's a lot of pulling on the body. And so you want to make sure you maintain some balance. And so what I would say is, choose maybe 3 days out of the week to do that instead of doing it throughout the entire cleanse. This says my UPS guy doesn't knock at all. Man, my guy, like, he always knocks. I mean, when I say knock, he knocks like, he knocks like something is wrong. Oh, so that's an update. If you didn't see my post today, my herbal iron is back in stock. So you can check it out on my website. So if you did not see my post today, the herbal iron capsules are back in stock. So you can go check that out. You can see my website here at the bottom, drbobbyprice.com. I see people are saying, oh, he restocked the herbal iron already. Miss Tony 44 says, I'm buying the book this weekend. Good stuff. Can I do the 14 days, wait a month, and try the 14 days again? Yeah, you could do that. Yeah, that's fine. Are you vegan? Yes. So I've been plant-based vegan since 2011. So 9 years. So I went plant-based in 2011. I initially was only going to do it for 21 days. And the funny thing was, when I went plant-based, I had never heard of the term vegan because it wasn't cool then. I didn't even know anybody who was vegetarian. The closest thing I knew was somebody who was pescatarian, which means they eat fish and no other meat. So that was the closest thing I knew. So in my mind, I was like, there's no way I'm going to stay vegan, but I'll do it for 21 days. And did it for 21 days. And in 21 days, I lost 17 pounds because I was heavily overweight at the time. At the time, I think I was 245, okay? 245, but a bad 245, like 245 and not a lot of fat too. So I lost 17 pounds in the 21 days, and so I was like, well, I might as well do it 30 days. And in 30 days, I lost 32 pounds, and I just stayed on the health wagon. My patients were so surprised about the weight loss so quickly, and I looked so different. Like before, you couldn't see my neck. I didn't have a visible neckline. I looked different. My skin looked different, and so everybody was asking, like, what the hell have you been doing? Like, people thought I was actually sick when I was like probably the healthiest I'd ever been. And so that's how my vegan journey started. And I just stayed on because it inspired a lot of my patients to change how they eat because they saw how much I changed. So, do I eat any processed food? I stay away from processed foods. If I eat something out of a box or a can, it's very rare. The infamous Lewis, peace and blessings to you. Yes, so I've been vegan since 2011, but plant-based vegan, so not Oreos and Doritos. How can we detox kids? I think the best way, especially for like smaller kids, to detox kids, is put them on a green smoothie diet. So like green smoothies only, you can change them up. And of course, what I love about green smoothies is you can put green leafy vegetables in there. You can put a nice herb in there like basil. You can put fruit. You could put some natural spring water. You can switch it up and put like a plant-based milk like coconut milk in there. You can sweeten it up by adding some dates so it makes it nice for the kids. So I would highly recommend when it comes to like small kids, starting with a green smoothie diet. So do it for like 5 days. I do consultations, but I'm booked until probably like mid to late September right now. This has been really busy. So my processed food is a little bit different. My processed food is like I'll buy quinoa noodles for like my spaghetti or something like that, or like, so like for me that's processed. Like if it didn't come from a tree or anything like that, like it's processed. So like that's my processed food. Oh, Sarah says, I can't understand why it's harder for me to give up cheese versus meat. Cheese, and I talk about this in my book in the chapter Ditch Dairy. Read it. In the book, I explain why it's so hard to ditch cheese. It's because cheese produces these compounds called casomorphines. Okay, and if that sounds familiar, it's because the compounds are very similar to the drug. They produce like a dopamine effect, like a euphoric effect in the body. So that's why people love cheese so much. But I talk about that at length inside of the book. I say, when I say plant-based, because if you're vegan, you can eat a lot of vegan junk food, right? Doritos and Oreos are vegan, but vegan is just the act, okay? And so the reason why I say plant-based vegan is because the foundation of what I eat comes from a tree, a bush, the ground, that sort of thing. It is something directly out of nature, okay? So it's a fruit, vegetable, nut, or seed, okay? And so that's why I say plant-based vegan, because if you focus on what you don't eat, right? So being vegan means that I don't eat any animal products. But this means that you can eat all kind of processed vegan food that in many cases isn't healthy for you at all, okay? And so that's why I always make the distinction of saying plant-based vegan, because you want to eat from the garden. You don't want to eat from the factory. And unfortunately, a lot of companies are coming up with a lot of plant-based foods that are probably really tasty, but they're just as unhealthy. And so I always make that distinction so that people know that just going vegan doesn't always do the health job that you expected it to do. Costello says, been off meat for 6 months. Congratulations. Yeah, dairy's got to be next. Baby steps. But yeah, indeed. Expand yourself and do something drastically different in terms of like changing your lifestyle. That doesn't mean just with food. I'm talking about when it comes to changing the people around you. I'm talking about deciding not to drink alcohol anymore. I'm talking about deciding that I'm going to exercise more. Anything that is different from what you currently do and it's going to be a lifestyle shift, I highly recommend starting with why. Understanding why you need to do it. Because when you have a why, you have purpose. And when you have purpose, you have meaning. So if you ever thinking about getting off of the bandwagon, your why is going to pop up in your mind and remind you that we have purpose, we have meaning for eating healthy now. So as you go through your journey, make sure you embrace your why. Don't embrace like the label vegan. Don't embrace like the idea that, I'm cool now because I eat different. Don't embrace that, because you're going to lose that. That motivation is going to go out of the window and it's going to get boring. But if you embrace the why of why you're doing what you're doing, you're always going to have purpose. You're always going to have meaning to why you need to stay healthy. And that may be because you need a relative or, your significant other. Maybe just that simple. I know for me, like that was one of my major whys is that, okay, if my patients see me and they see that I'm healthy, they're going to ask why am I, why I look the way I do or why I act the way I do. Like I have people who ask me all the time when I worked in the hospital, like, man, you're always in a good mood. What do you do for that? They're like, do you drink coffee? No, I don't drink coffee. Okay. Do you take, energy drinks? No energy drinks. And I tell them I eat plants. Just that simple. Like, I eat plants and I stay in tune with the source. That's it. Right. And so it's really important to get your why as you go along your journey. I wouldn't do any plant-based protein powder because a lot of them just are like, if you turn around and look at the ingredients, I always tell people, if you read the ingredients and you don't know what the hell it means, it's probably something you shouldn't have. If it didn't come from the ground, just put it down. Like, that's what Dr. Sebi used to say. So like what I typically use in my for my protein is like chia seed, hemp, chickpeas, things of that nature. Got a lot of people in here today, huh? Professor Lowe, peace and blessing to you, bruh. Where can I buy the detox tea? Just check out my website at the bottom, drbobbyprice.com. The tea definitely helps with inflammation. And if anybody on here who's done the detox and you had inflammation in your body beforehand, please kind of let her know what your experience is. But I've had people who had like screws put in their ankles or in their back who were taking opioid medications because of the pain, who did the detox and they didn't have to take those medications anymore. It removes a lot of inflammation from the body because it cleanses the blood and cleanses the tissues and cleanses the joints. So if you done the detox and you had inflammation in your body and then after the detox you did not, please comment below. I usually eat cucumbers and tomatoes or cucumbers and avocados, but yeah, that's usually how I have my cucumbers. You could take the sea moss peel all at once, but I highly recommend spreading it out through the day for the best benefits. Oh, I can see I'm super behind. Finally, Candace says, I got mine, planning to do the 14-day detox tomorrow. Good stuff. Make sure you keep me tagged along your journey. Let me know how it's going. Do I use sea moss? Yes. So I have a multi-mineral supplement that has sea moss and bladderwracks in it. It also has burdock in it. And the burdock is there to cleanse the blood and nourish the blood. So yeah, I do sea moss almost daily. What's your take on mushrooms? So I do mushrooms, with the exception of shiitake. I do, but I primarily do oyster mushrooms. BA Live says, I have your multi-minerals. Good stuff. Tashanya says, the detox is everything. Highly recommend it. Does the detox create a slightly thicker liquid form? I'm not sure about that question, Shanita. Create a slightly thicker liquid form. Oh, I know what you're asking. That's a good question. All right, so at the bottom of the Tommy Detox, which is 1/2 of the detox. So when you get the detox, it comes with 2 different bags. One bag is Parasite Candida Cleanse, okay? That's to remove parasites from your gut. That's to remove candida, which is yeast in the body. But it's also to clean out your liver, your kidneys, your lymphatic system, and so forth. Okay. And then on the other side, you have the Tommy Detox, which is a whole separate bag. And then the Tommy Detox, that's designed to cleanse out your entire digestive tract from your tongue to your anus. Okay. Now, when you're drinking, when you make the teas, they're a liquid. Okay. So it's like a tea. All right. At the bottom of the Tommy Detox, once you drink it all, what you will see is like a little gel. It looks like gel at the bottom. Okay. What that gel you see there is from the herb slippery elm. That's why they call the herb slippery, because when you put it in, okay, that gel is very healthy for your gut. A lot of times when I have people who have issues like IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome, or ulcerative colitis, or any kind of gut issue that is, inflammation in its foundation, I always make sure they have, because it's a cooling herb. It will cool the gut, removing a lot of that slightly thicker liquid form that you see at the bottom is from slippery elm. I didn't know what you were asking, but then my brain was like, I get it. Good question though. Like, really good question. How's it going, Tanisha? One of my tribers. Tanisha says the detox is amazing. I've done it 5 times. Each time I get better and better results, especially with my skin. I had severe acne that cleared up tremendously, and it also taught me a lot of discipline. Indeed. The detox helps with bloating. I see Carol Kills asked that. The detox definitely helps with bloating. You should detox every 3 to 4 months, essentially like an oil change. Because that's essentially what this is for. A detox, a cleanse, is essentially what an oil change and tune-up is for your car. Okay? We have all these processes for our cars. We do maintenance. We detail our cars, clean them on the outside. We clean the engine on them. We clean the wheels. But we even have a spring cleaning for our homes. But we have absolutely no process like that for our bodies. So that's why I recommend doing the detox every 3 to 4 months. All right, guys, so I'm going to get out of here. I just wanted to drop in for a while, see how everybody was doing, say peace and blessings, dropping a little knowledge, a few gems, just to see. Just to keep people uplifted during this time. I know that platforms like this where we can connect, because you guys do inspire me as well, so. Yes, and in terms of my detox, go to YouTube and just put my name in there, Dr. Bobby Price, and I have a detox instructional video. It'll tell you everything you need to know about the detox. All right, guys, so enjoy the rest of your Friday and the rest of your weekend. And until the next time, peace and blessings, love and light, and Godspeed.